In this episode, things speed up as we finally meet the Goha siblings. Hey there, my name is Rex. It's time for episode 54 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. Pretty cool. Now things are actually, like I said, moving along. So, the beginning of this episode, we're formally introduced to the Goha siblings. And, we had kind of seen them if you had been following a lot of the promotional stuff. Like, for one thing, they appeared at the end of last season. Very briefly, there have been a lot of posters. There's been, of course, some information about them put out. So these siblings are apparently the real presidents of Goha, and they were off at a Goha Space Elementary. And so it makes a little more sense of why, I guess, the Goha president drone was a drone, because he's kind of just there in their place, running things and kind of keeping things going, I guess, along with a host while they're off wherever. But for whatever reason, they've come now to Earth, and they challenge Yuga. Specifically, what they've done is they've taken over the Rush Duel robot on the moon, put some armaments on it. They said, hey, duel us. If you lose 6 times, well, we'll lead these on, and the Rush Duel robot or the Super Rush robot will eventually fall apart. If you beat us, each one of us you beat, we'll take one of them off. So that's it, effectively set up the whole gauntlet for it. And it's seeming like their goals are still, to get rid of Rush Duels. So the first duel is against the oldest brother, the one who's speaking mostly. And he's got, a nice voice, Yuro Goha. Their last name is Goha, so, which obviously makes sense. Yuro Goha. And it's interesting, apparently all their names have U in it, similar to basically every Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist, similar to Yuga as well. So, interesting. I've seen a lot of theories and stuff. I'm not necessarily going to talk about those just yet, but as we get more information, because, it's pretty interesting. So he challenges Yuga specifically to a riding Rush Duel, and I think that's really neat just in concept, just that, we get to see some other gimmicks coming about. And so I'm guessing, maybe we'll see stuff like this with some of the other siblings duels. But it doesn't have really any effect on the mechanics of the duel, just that they're racing around this track and they're riding, hover vehicles. So Yuro has his own hover vehicle, and I like that he says, oh, hey, I'll loan you one, and Yuga's like, no need, because, he has his own, obviously. Which, we're shown very briefly at the beginning of the episode. And, of course, it's Kaizo powered, which I like that most of Yuga's roads are like that. So we get this Rush Duel, this riding Rush Duel. Like I said, it's pretty cool. Again, the racing mechanic has no effect on the actual duel, really. It seems like, but it's just a cool aesthetic thing. So during the duel, it's pretty interesting because a lot of Yuro's monsters, yet he's using all wind attributes. And so I'm thinking, maybe we'll see that with some of the other siblings, right? Maybe they'll all be one attribute each. But with Yuro specifically, because you figure if they're running Goha, or if they're the presidents of Goha, they're more so interested in like the traditional sense of duels. And so a lot of Yuro's monsters, like the smaller ones he summons, are actually older monsters, right? They're not, big legacy monsters like, Red Eyes or Summon Skull or Blue Eyes, but they're definitely monsters that have been in the game for a while. For one thing, like, Cyber Eagle, Harpy Lady, and then Cyber Tech Alligator. So I think that's pretty neat that, we see these monsters that, again, if you've been in the game for a while, you know them. So I think that's pretty neat. And of course, Harpy Lady is really nice. But aside from his ace monster is, this big eagle. It is Formula Air Eagle. Formula Eagle. I'm gonna look Air Formula Eagle. I believe that is the name. But it's this mechanical bird monster. Pretty cool. And during the duel, he's basically got the upper hand for most of it. Even though Yuga is able to bring out Seven's Road Witch and Seven's Road Magician during this duel, he gets kind of tripped up again from the mechanics. And so, but he's able to overcome it. I like that the monster he summons out on his last turn to basically win everything is Lightning Bull Condor. So it's a big bird, so we get big mechanical bird versus big mechanical bird. One thing at one point during the duel, Yuro destroys one of Yuga's trap cards at the cost of some attack points from his monster, just kind of showing, I guess, he's a little smarter and making things a little more, tense for Yuga. But Yuga's able to overcome, some of his spells that would protect his wind monsters, and basically stop other wind monsters. So or other non-wind monsters. So again, it's seeming like, at the very least, Yuro, who's dressed in green, the color of wind in Yu-Gi-Oh, is, that's his thing. So that's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing each of them will be an attribute. Each of them will have an attribute-based deck. So Yugi's able to win with Lightning Bolt Condor and, of course, some other monsters by reducing all of Yuro's monsters' attacks. And, at the very end, even after his life points are reduced to 0, they just have a little sequence where, they're racing toward the finish line. And, of course, Yuga beats him. Again, it didn't seem like that had any kind of bearing on the duel, but, it's just a nice thing. But apparently, Yuro is out as a president. Because, he failed. So, it's kind of interesting because we saw Yuro as, he's the oldest, and he's the one speaking everything, and he's the one talking to Yuga first. But now we see, I think Yuo is his name, one of the other siblings, is kind of the one now in charge, and is the one who kind of pushes and says, hey, as a president, failure is unacceptable. Do you resign? Maybe you should resign as president. And afterwards, we see him kind of scheming some things, meeting up with the Goha drone as well, working on some secret card. So it's pretty obvious that Yuo, I believe his name is the one who's really orchestrating everything, and is probably even trying to, kick out his siblings in the process. Which, by the way, one sibling just looked like a drone, who was a mysterious hooded figure, but at one point you see them, and so I guess that's we see more drones. But for one thing, Yuro did seem very interested in rush duels, or at least he had fun with them, and I guess it makes a little more sense because that seems like his personality, being a racing guy, a fast guy, and so getting to experience rush duels that are meant to be fast. It's he's kind of, I guess, maybe turned on to them a little more. But obviously the other characters are going to be rush dueling against Yuga, so we'll probably see that happen progressively. A little predictable, but I think that it's shaping up. I did really like this episode, and I really enjoyed just what they did with it, with the characters. I think that's kind of interesting. On one hand, Neil is with them because, yes, he's still technically a Goha employee, so he's kind of still working for them again in his place, in his room, and apparently was one that helped design things and is helping running things. So if we see their other gimmick duels, Neil's probably going to pop up and say something. So and again, he says, I as a he says something like, I was always impartial to, I still like to think that he's friends with Yuga, but that it seems like that's the position that he's in. But I enjoyed this episode, good, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how everybody else is in this series, all the other Goha siblings, and seeing what kind of gimmicks or what kind of interesting duels they bring to the table. But anyway, that's basically been the episode. Let me know what you think. Did you enjoy it? Like I said, as opposed to last week, which, as I mentioned, I didn't personally enjoy, this one I thought was much better. Good start to everything going on. And interestingly, you're sure Swirly was there at the beginning and at the end as a gag, but aside from that, he didn't do a whole lot. So we'll see what's up with Swirly. I guess he's mostly just there for fun, But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. We'll continue the discussion down there. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, show your support, and you can do that. But anyway, this has been Rex. Have a nice day.